That is true, Sandra. We are now live streaming on Facebook. And this is Monday Midday Meditation for Monday, February 27th, 2023. And you know, I just dawned on me there's only one day left in February. And then we start March. And when I think of March, I think of prosperity, which is actually today's daily word. Isn't that interesting?
Yes,
that the daily word for tomorrow before we jump into March is joy. And one of the things that I thought was so interesting when I went and focused again and edited the YouTube posting for Reverend Eva's message yesterday about love joy, you know, that's how we prosper. It really is how we prosper. Don't you agree?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and read the daily word. And everybody out there in Facebook land and on Zoom, I'm going to read the daily word today, and Sandra's going to guide us through a meditation on prosperity. So if you would, think about these words. And these words were written by the Daily Word publication, Unity Worldwide Ministries, which we are honored and blessed to be associated with as a Unity in the Olympics Plus. I call us a Unity Church Plus. And it is something that has been written by ministers and writers for the Daily Word since 1924. And so this one is prosperity. And I'm not too sure who is the current writer of this, but I love what it says. It says prosperity is the daily word. And the affirmation is, the infinite abundance of God is my spiritual inheritance. Think about that one. The infinite abundance of God is my spiritual inheritance. And as I read this, everybody out there is the I am in that statement. I am the one receiving this spiritual inheritance from the divine. So say it with me if you can. The infinite abundance of God, is my spiritual inheritance. It is my spiritual inheritance. As it says here, worldly conditions may change from day to day, and my fortunes may ebb and flow, but my connection with God is steady and sure. With God as my source, I am one with the world's abundance. As a divine being, I have access to divine ideas, the seeds of my prosperity. In prayer, I release my limited pictures as specific outcomes so the greater good can manifest. Through forgiveness, I let go of anything preventing me from knowing the compassionate love of God as the root of my abundance. That's that God is my source. I am aligned with the presence of God within. My focus is not on the things of the world. It is on the divine in my place in the flow of infinite prosperity. We are constantly in divine flow. I have a short little thing that I'm going to say out there since Reverend Donna couldn't join us. But one of the first awarenesses that I came into being in the divine flow is Reverend Donna used to have a Trinity table. And this vision that came to be about my life was that I was laying on my back on a float trip looking up at the sun through the trees in what I consider spring, late spring, my perfect time of year. And as I was floating down, looking up, passing all the beauty that was, I started spinning in an eddy. Now, if everybody knows, that's that little cove off that sometimes those things like sticks and leaves get stuck in there. And in this vision, the light kept telling me, you can push them all away and still make it into that flow if you choose to do so. We too can pass off all those ideas that are not right and perfect for us and let them go so that we can remain in the flow. And I think it's great that they pulled this idea out of 2 Corinthians 9:8, where it says, and God is able to provide you with every blessing in abundance, so that by always having enough of everything, ye may share abundantly in every good work. And that everyone can share abundantly in every good work because it is an infinite blessing provided to all. So, prayer chaplain Sandra, would you like to take us into this lovely time of meditation where we can center on that thought of
Yes,
that infinite prosperity coming through to us?
I loved every word of this reading today. So let's just take a couple of deep breaths. Breathing God in, breathing God out. And with that thought that was just expressed to us in the reading, we live in the flow of infinite abundance. Breathe that in. Sometimes during the days, we just get caught up in all of our stuff. And we forget that prosperity is always with us. To truly realize and feel prosperity, sometimes it's just to stop and pause during the day and think about the infinite flow of divinity in us and the divine in us, always working and flowing through us, as us, expressing as us. And so we get caught up in stuff, like me with my books and magazines and papers. But actually, when we stop and breathe in the realization that we truly are in the flow of infinite abundance, the smallest things to the tiniest things to the biggest things. It's not about money necessarily, although that's always good. Pays our bills, a little bit left over for an ice cream cone. But it's more than that. It's waking up every morning and seeing the sunrise, or this morning seeing snow flurries and going, oh my gosh, more snow again. And it's not going to coat the whole ground because this is wet. It's going to give us some moisture that we need in our soil. There's abundance. Abundance in the universe, gifts all around us, nature. Take another deep breath. We live and we breathe within God. The only thing that's ever lacking is when we forget to be aware of the truth of this, that we are always in the flow. So sometimes it just helps to just bring ourselves back to this, remembering who we are and remembering that it's unlimited. Our prosperity is unlimited. I get up and have a cup of hot coffee. My stove worked this morning, or I get 7 minutes of a shower with the water still being hot before it shuts down into cold water. I'm thankful for that. There are places all over the world right now that they're not able to experience anything but cold. But yet I just heard a talk the other day from some people in Ukraine who said they still feel blessings with all the horrendous stuff going on around them. They found things to be grateful for. They found meaning and purpose. And I thought, wow, and I'm complaining today? No way. I just need to remember how lucky I am to have a roof over my head, clothes. So let's again breathe in and connect with that universal flow. It helps us to see with fresh eyes when we do that, not to take for granted every little thing that goes on in a day. Even in the barriers and the obstacles, there's blessings. There's blessings. We have community that will reach out and, you can come over and use my shower. That's a prosperity. That's prosperity. So family, community, a church, that's prosperity. The love that people surround us and the support and the enthusiasm, that's prosperity. And it helps us to feel lighter in our hearts when things seem to overburden us or loss and grief seems to overtake us. We have people here for us, neighbors that we didn't even know that show up for us. Our church growing and expanding with new people and the enthusiasm and the joy that they have. That's prosperity. So if we just stop and pause and look around, there's so much to see that we just take for granted. And we have more. We have more than enough. During this time of the busy season and the changes in the weather and activities, we get to think about family and who that family is, because we get to choose. And we can always remember that it's always enough. There's always enough. We draw from our inner wisdom, that inner divinity in each of us. The child that we all are in spirit is one with faith, one with truth, one with trust. So we can let go of the fear that we're not enough, because sometimes we do go to those places. We can give thanks that we are infinite, that spirit is infinite and spirit is unlimited, and we have all that to draw on. So I joyously open to rich ideas. I'm using the word joyously from Eva yesterday in her talk. I never use that word very often, but I'm using it this week. And she inspired us with her talk. And I think that we can take things like that, people that come up in our lives that inspire us, remind us who we are, give us what we already know, but sometimes we just forget. That we are open. Let's say this actually together. You can say it to yourself. We are open to our good in whatever form it takes, or we can channel it to flow through us, into us, and out, and into our community and into the world. We are so thankful to have enough to eat, to have plenty of food, the roof over our heads, clothing, hot water. I mean, we could just go on and on with the small things. That's prosperity. Ever flowing towards us, ever available. We just open our eyes and open our ears to hear and see. And sometimes we get caught up in the saying negative, oh my God, this happened to me today and that happened to me today. But we can stop and say, but look what we have. Look where I am. And we can be so thankful. And it might be nice to just take a minute here to reflect, each of you, what that prosperity means for you. Because prosperity can mean many different things for each of us at different times in our lives. But we know when we take time to pause and stay in the flow, be aligned with the good that we know we are and the good that we know is available, we can really, really let go of the negative and let go of fear and release it and give it over to God. And we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Take another deep breath. Feel your body relaxing and letting go. And welcome back into the room.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, hopefully everybody out there was in a place of peace and coming to a place of joy as they take that forward and deploy into the rest of the week. And we thank you for joining us here today for Monday Midday Meditation, and especially at Unity in the Olympics in Port Angeles, Washington. So does everybody want to lift their hands and say bye for now?
Bye.
We'll see you real soon.
Bye
Bye for now.